Okay, I think we right from the top. Damn, my phone rang at the same time. Hold on. Last time I ran. Yo. I be at the tree playing domino. Win a ticket for that cheese. A lot of dope. All them tricks up your sleeve. Get your sleeve on. My team on every scene. Team strong. When you see what I see, you say I know. I'm just here to get the cheese. And I'm going. Yeah, I'm cooler than the breeze. But you know, I'm addicted to that cheese. Overload. I'm on every chick's wish list. I touch down, she give me big kiss. No time for a dipstick at all. I switch gears just like a stick shift. Past y'all, I was bound to make leaps. You see now, thank God for good genes. Pass down, I was bound to make leaps. You see now, thank God for good genes. Pass down. Don't forget to go hard. Don't forget about your part. Don't ever mother card. Like author, just bring the sword. So don't forget to go hard. Don't forget I'm your boy. Always stay super strong. Yeah. Yeah, we at it. We back at it. With Aboriginal is folk etymology. You know, I gotta let y'all know what it is. Yo, that's real. Shot Town's greatest in the house. My boy Taz Maniac Wolf. Huh? Wolf. Let them know big dogs in it. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, I gotta put foot in some ass, It's just the way it is. I be being nice, I don't know why. I know nice means foolish. I feel foolish not letting y'all know what time it is. You know what I mean? So I can't let y'all be stuck. Everybody want to be stuck on this Aboriginal. It's the Aboriginal movement. You know what I mean? I'm gonna teach you about language altogether, and then we can have a movement. Hopefully y'all can see this. I can make it bigger. Yeah. Boom. We're only gonna worry about etymologies around here. So the word is Aborigine or Aborigine or Aboriginal. Irregardless, this a post of mine from a while back, 2019, and I say, my receipts say Aboriginal and Aboriginal, which is the word is masculine, and the plural of the word is Aborigines. The L meaning Latin is Latin Aborigines, original inhabitants. Yeah, that's what we all think. That's why we look at it. That's what we talk. But it's folk etymology. It's the folk etymology of a pre-Roman tribal name. Yep, Ab plus the Latin origine. Origine meaning beginning, like the original, of course. And it's coming from the word origio. That's where you get the word origin or original. But yeah, like I said, beginning, and it says see origin, the tendency to regard Aborigines as normal, plural, produce the form Aboriginal. The tendency, it was just a tendency that we regarded Aborigines as the normal plural of to describe these people, produce the form Aboriginal. But back to this, it's folk etymology. Yeah, I'm putting in your face. But folk etymology of a pre-Roman tribal name. That's what we're dealing with, really. Well, we're gonna look up folk etymology. It's a noun. It's a popular but mistaken account of the origin of a word or phrase. The process by which the form of an unfamiliar or foreign word is adapted to a more familiar form through popular usage. Yeah, peace to the family and the sister Kai creators. All right, and you heard my boy way over there in London, huh? Way on the other side of the pond. My boy say, smash that like. Y'all know what time it is. You know, got the sister Monique in the building. You know, I appreciate all y'all. You know, and like the brother say, you know, if we smash that like, it's just gonna get the algorithm out, so they can stop hating on me. You know, peace, God. Yeah, but yeah, what we call it Aboriginal is essentially just folk etymology, and I got more receipts. You know, I just had to bring up something to me that's old. You know, I've been dropping it, and I know when we dealing with law that it's been used and it's gonna keep getting used because you know people have put in their paperwork and hey, it gave them some standing, so they're gonna stand on it, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them. You know, but at the same time, you know, we know better. If you man, we can read, so we know they accept us being called black also. That don't mean I'm gonna accept that myself. You feel me? So the same thing going with this Aboriginal. You know, they accept it, but that don't mean I accept it. You know, like I said, it's folk etymology, which truly means it's fake etymology. So we're gonna get to the real deal etymons, of course. Let me see. Get this next one. Boom, 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 boom. This, well, we can go here first. Yep, just to further your knowledge on what folk etymology is. Yeah, funny word history is one of the funniest and most fascinating aspects of etymology or word history is folk etymology. Folk etymology isn't real etymology, you know, which is determined by rules of language, change over time. It does not reflect natural historical changes in words. Rather, it represents erroneous changes made by people who mishear words, usually foreign words, and try to make these words more English. Folk etymologies are based on misconceptions of foreign words as native words. The underlying principle, the underlying principle of folk etymology is that speakers of a language expect all the words and every part of a word in their language to be legitimate English words or affixes, meaning, you know, a suffix or a prefix. If a word is pronounced so that native speakers cannot detect its English pieces, speakers shift the pronunciation of the word to the nearest English word, whether the results make semantic sense or not. For example, catter cornered contains a strange chunk of sound before the recognizable cornered. You know, speakers' reactions are, you know, normally to change cater to the regular English word caddy, which is similar in pronunciation. In fact, the word is not all that common. So many speakers have changed it again to kitty cornered. Well, kitties are cuter than cats, you know, so they just being fun. But the meaning of the modified words are less significant in folk etymologies. If a phonetically similar word with a similar meaning can be found, well and good. However, even if the meaning does not make sense in the context of the compound, as in kitty corner, so long as all its parts sound like real English words, the folk etymological change will survive. You know, so Just getting y'all further up on what this fake etymology is. This folk etymology. Greetings, sister, and all y'all. But back to it, because I'm gonna get on the word Indian too. But I ain't done beating up Aboriginal right quick. You know, let me see. Is this it? Yeah, we can start. Yeah. All right. Aboriginal meaning. The definition of Aboriginal refers to the animals and plants which are native to an area, or to the people who were the first to find and live in an area. Yeah, but or origin of Aboriginal. Back information from plural Aborigines, taken as Aborigine from Latin Aborigines, original inhabitants. It's folk etymology. It's folk etymology of the name of a pre-Roman tribe of Italy. Ab from, ab plus origine. Ablative of origin, like origin, beginning or origin. Yeah. Once again, from Latin, Aboriginals, original inhabitants, is folk etymology of the name of a pre-Roman tribe of Italy. So I wonder, are all Aboriginals from a pre-Roman tribe of Italy? Or are they just calling themselves the same name that the new Italians called the old Italians? And that's obviously that's what you call a exonym, not an endonym, because it's not what they call themselves. I think I'm gonna have to beat the word Indian up, because Indian definitely. Yeah, peace, God. But most definitely, let me get to the word Indian. Okay, 1 second. That's what they, this is what they calling themselves. They don't want to be Moors so bad. They'd rather be Negro before they be a Moor. Of course, they'd rather be Indian for some reason. And we're going to get right into it. Like I say, all Indians were made wards of the state. Thus, the U.S. government no longer needed tribal consent in dealing with the tribes. Can you see it? Yeah, all Indians were made wards of the state. Thus, the U.S. government no longer needed tribal consent in dealing with the tribes. In California, a juvenile offender may be ordered to be a ward of a court if such juvenile violated any state law, curfew, or from excessive truancies, etc., etc., etc. So, matter of fact, I went to the ward law. I wanted to actually, yeah, but it already telling you right there that all Indians were named. Hold on, I'm gonna go further in though. And they're glad to be wards of the state. I be telling them when I be building with them on their channel, and guys be like, I'm tripping. I don't want to be a ward of the state. Of course, I don't want to be no ward of the state. What the hell? Well, I want to be an orphan. I might well say that. All right. And since we are speaking on wards, this is what they ask for. In law. A ward is a minor or incapacitated adult placed under the protection of a legal guardian or government entity, such as a court. Such a person may be referenced as a ward of the court. So hold on. All right. We're gonna, and I remember the brother was talking about, all these Indians in Canada. So I'm gonna show you how they law rocking too. Ain't nothing different. The indigenous peoples in Canada remain wards of the crown as a result of Indian Act legislation. Some scholars and political organizations, such as the Assembly of First Nations, have argued that this represents an apartheid-like system of governance. The indigenous peoples in Canada remain wards of the crown. All right. I could have told you about France, but we're going to skip right here to the U.S. In the Supreme Court case, Cherokee Nation versus Georgia, the native peoples were legally made to be wards of the state. One consequence of this was that they were not permitted to sue the U.S. government because of their status as a dependent nation. The Indian Appropriations Act was passed on the 3rd of March, 1871. And this is the same year of the Act of 1871. The Act of 1871 is when the U.S. government became a corporation, or when the de facto became the actual. It used to be the de jure, it used to be a republic, prior to 1865 when the Civil War started. But around the end of that Civil War, 1871, around 1871, we talking about the Act of 1871. And that's the exact same time of the Indians Appropriations Act, with an amendment ending tribal recognition and the treaty system. See, people say, oh, they've never honored none of their treaties. Yeah. The de facto that was created in 1871, the Act of 1871, they ended tribal recognitions and the treaty system. But they're not supreme. We talking about the fake. We talking about the de facto. We just like I'm showing you, Aboriginal and Indian are basically de facto words. All Indians were made wards of the state. Thus, the U.S. government no longer needed tribal consent in dealing with the tribes. Yeah, so this is what they want. They want to be wards. I don't get it. Hey, like the brother say, in other words, or in other wards, a prisoner of. Yep. Or in other words, a prisoner of. But still. Yep. Yep. Yes, you do. You write some beautiful poetry, as well as your artwork, for sure. And yeah, I'm just showing you this so nobody, just says anything. We like some people just be saying anything. Just like, man, we black. We don't want to hear that crap. You know what I'm saying? We black. We blacker than black. Okay, whatever. You sound dumb. Oh, I'm Aboriginal. I'm Indian. I'm a ward of the state. I'm like, do you know what the hell you saying? Yeah, you tripping. You trying to get my people to stop being wards of the state. Yeah, I'm trying to get them to stop being wards of the state. Are you crazy? Minorities, etc., etc. Like, nah, I want my people to tighten up. Yeah, the sister say I'm late. Say what? Nah. Yeah, Aboriginal. If you rewind or if you even research for yourself, the word Aboriginal is folk etymology. I can always pull something back up. I don't mind rubbing it in one more time. Because people use a lot of words that they know not. I think that's a thing nowadays, Okay, let me see if this was it. No, not it. This show the sister right quick. What did I do? Do it like that. And if not, then I have to just pull it up. Oh yeah, but yeah. Just did something to show you right here. Boom. We know the word Aborigine, and its meaning. We said it, any one of us would probably just told you on our own that, the definition of Aborigine refers to the animals and plants which are native to an area or to the people who were first to find and live in an area. Well, the reason is folk etymology, because now we got to go to the origin of Aborigine. The back formation from plural Aborigines, taken as Aborigine, from Latin Aborigines, original inhabitants. Yeah, that's what we'll say. But it's folk, right here. Folk etymology. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, word right here. Folk etymology of the name of a pre-Roman tribe of Italy. Ab, plus origine of origin, like your origin, meaning the beginning. But once again, this is folk etymology to describe pre-Roman tribes. So it's not the real etymology at all. Folk actually meaning like the fake, or you can say the people. But what people we talking about? We talking about them folks, not us. We not folks. That's them. And for real. Yeah. Okay. Let me show you. Just put another nail in the coffin as far as this Indian thing. Wow. Yeah. But yeah. All Indians were made wards of the state. Thus, the U.S. government no longer needed tribal consent in dealing with the tribes. Boom. What does it mean to be a ward of the state? Becoming a ward of the state sounds like an ominous event. But it's actually meant to be an act of goodwill and good faith on the part of the government. Often a person, either a child or adult, becomes a ward of the state due to a loss of ability to care for themselves properly through no real fault of their own. Sound like y'all handicapped is what they're trying to say. Were Indians made wards of the state? All Indians were made wards of the state. How many Indians? Half of them? Some of them? Quarter of them? 75%? All Indians were made wards of the state. Thus, the U.S. government no longer needed tribal consent in dealing with his kids, his stepchildren, his orphans, his wards. So that ain't the way we going. Because that's not the way of freedom. You can never be free being a ward, being a minor. Like they saying, to become an adult ward of state, the adult in question must be deemed incompetent by the court. So we say all Indians. Did they just say the children? Did they just say the women and the elderly or something, like, or just the men? No. The adults, the children, everybody has become incompetent, deemed incompetent by the court. Adult wards of the state do not have family members who can serve as guardians. Put it back. Okay. Yeah. So I'm not gonna. I can't get on the word indigenous like I'm gonna kick it in the ass. I like the word indigenous a lot more than the rest of that because Moors we go off. We have words, but we don't introduce words to y'all in the conscious community, like autochthonous, indigenous, you know, sovereign. Nobody, nobody speaks on sovereignty. The Moors trying to free y'all. You can never be free on being a minor, being a ward of the state. You can only be free being sovereign. So that's what it is. And I know it might ruffle a little few feathers, but hey, it'll be all right. They'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? We gonna be all right. Oh, let me see.
Stars ain't out of reach for 'em. Regardless how steep, just keep going. Being king of these streets is heroic. Regardless, when I speak, I'm a beat poet. I make rap artistry while you sleep snoring. I make love and love beats. I keep flowing. Rappers will love to trade seats before I report. I collect dollars and fill seats. Guess I'm creeping on. Number one choice of the streets like I'm rap on. If it wasn't for me, I'd have to say rap on. It's the truth when I speak. Yeah, word is born. Play this song preferably early in the morning. Since I ain't normal, would you say I'm abnormal? These dudes straight comical. Capcom, I'm just in it for the capital. That part. Don't forget to go hard. Don't forget about your part. Don't ever want to go. Like authors just bring the sword. So don't forget to go hard. Don't forget I'm your boy. Always stay super sure. Only do it from the heart. I know these reptiles sleep. What that mean? These snakes don't think. Oh, until the eagle comes swooping. Oh man, jump cause they shooting. Said nah, get drunk, they cop deuces. Stand down, red-handed, they speechless. Man down, they Grinches round Christmas. Oh man, no brains, they all twisted. Strong man, I'm brave and I'm gifted. Can't get over. I came to uplift you, let them know my aim is way different. Bullseye, and I do the heavy lifting full time. To music, I'm guilty, it's a good crime. I made for you to cruise and have a good time. To me, it's a sport, cause it's my favorite pastime. Might be your first, but won't be your last time. Don't forget to go hard.